Who am I? Where do I belong? What's my purpose? You're never gonna feel like you truly belong until you can answer these questions and be sitting in the right seat to live those out. Let's take a look at those three questions. Number one, who am I? This is a question that gets deep down into the identity of you. Nobody else is going to be able to answer this question exactly like you.
Never before seen by man.
This is going to get into what you believe, what you've experienced, what you love, what you hate, the passions that you have, where you're skilled and gifted, and all of those things. This is going to start to form the answer to this question, who am I? In a future video, I'm going to go a little deeper into who I am, why you should be watching this video, why you should care, why you should come along and be a part of this community. But for today, I just want you to start asking those questions. Start trying to answer the question, who am I? Not me, you. Ask yourself questions like, what am I most passionate about? What wakes me up in the morning? What keeps me up at night? What are the things that I'm most gifted at, just naturally? Start to come up with an answer to this big identity question. Who the heck am I? Now, the second question on that list is, where do I belong? And to me, this is the most important question. I know that both those other questions are really important, but I believe that the most fulfilling position that you can ever be in your entire life is living in a place where you truly belong. Now, Brené Brown defines belonging this way. Belonging is being authentically you. See, answer to the first question. In a place you want to be and others want you to be there. She juxtaposes that with fitting in is changing yourself so that others will accept you wherever you are. Now, those two things, belonging, fitting in, I belong, those things can seem like the same, but when you start to change things about you to fit into the table that you're sitting at, then that's not actually a true experience of belonging.
I'm actually not sure I belong here.
You'll know that when you feel it. When you step into a room, when you sit down at a table and you get to be exactly who you are. Again, see, answer number one. And the people there want you to be there and you want to be there. That is the truest sense of belonging. What I like to call radical belonging. That's a longer story we can come back to later. That is what belonging feels like. Start to ask yourself that question. Where do I belong? Where can you step into a room, sit down at a table, walk into a conversation, and be exactly who you are, not changing things about yourself to fit in, and the people there want you there as you, and you want to be there. This is a fulfilling environment, a fulfilling interaction for you. Third question, what is my purpose? This is kind of the culmination of those other two questions. Again, I still have an affinity for the where do I belong question, but I think that what's my purpose comes out of knowing exactly who you are and exactly where you belong and allowing those things to inform what you are uniquely equipped to accomplish. To answer this what's my purpose question, you want to start looking at who am I? Now, I know that that's not a small question. It's going to take you some time to walk through that exercise and truly answer that question. But once you've done the work of answering that first question, who am I? Then you've answered that second question, where do I belong? Knowing who I am, you've figured out what table can I sit down at, what room can I enter into, what conversation can I dive into where I truly and radically belong. Then you allow those answers to inform what's my purpose. Okay, this is who I am. This is the place in the world where I actually belong. Now, how can I make the world a better place? Make an impact? What mission can I accomplish that maybe nobody else in the entire world could accomplish because they aren't who I am and they don't belong in the spaces that I belong? That can start to shape your very, very unique mission, made for this, if you will, that is your purpose. Now, I stole these particular questions worded in this way from the Fuller Institute. You can look them up. I'll leave a link for them in the description below. But I think the point still stands. These are the questions we're always trying to answer throughout our lives. And these are the questions that when we do answer, they change everything. So in future videos, I'm going to share a little bit more about my answers to those questions. Who am I? Where do I belong? And what's my purpose? But the very short version is I want to build a community that perpetuates this idea, that helps people find their unique seat at the table, their unique space in the world, that place where they truly, uniquely, and radically belong. And I want this channel to be a resource for helping people do that. So there's going to be tools, there's going to be mindsets, there's going to be all of these different things. If any of that sounds interesting to you, subscribe, join this community, and let's do this thing together, because I believe that as we start to answer those questions and live in the answers to those questions, some really, really cool things are going to happen. And I believe that you are going to find that place where only you belong, and it will be one of the most fulfilling things you can ever experience. Can I sit here?